Hello, today we are going to start the second type of nutrition, which is called heterotrophic nutrition. And we said that the heterotrophic organism obtain their food from other living organism, which is a organic material, large or complex molecules. So how they obtain this food and how they get the benefit from this food, this is what is called digestion, what we are going to take today. The heterotrophic organism obtain their food in form of a already organic material which are large and complex. These molecules cannot diffuse or move inside the cell membrane of living organisms, so we digest them or we break them to take benefit from them by the process of digestion. So digestion is conversion of large food molecules, which is polymers, to smaller one, monomers, by means of hydrolysis and the presence of some enzyme which catalyze this action. The importance of digestion is breaking down the large molecules and obtaining simpler one, and this is the source of energy for building new tissues. And we said these reactions happen by the presence of enzyme. Let's remember what is enzyme: protein substance which has catalyst process, activate particular enzyme. What is the mechanism of action of enzyme? Enzyme has the ability of particular chemical reaction, structure of reactant molecules, and nature of the enzyme. When the reaction is completed, the molecules break down again and leave the enzyme as it is before. The enzyme never change. Before and after the reaction, the enzyme is the same shape. So the substrates are reacting, forming intermediate compound, low enzyme substrate substance, and then leave the enzyme and it is the same. What is the characters of the enzyme? First one, it is specific. What is the meaning of specific? It is only for one type and it accelerates special type of chemical reaction according to structure and nature of the enzyme. The enzyme cannot do all the reactions. It is for special type of reaction and maybe only one reaction. They don't affect all the enzyme, don't affect by affect the products of the reaction. They only work as a catalyst. It increases the speed until they reach the equilibrium, but never interfere inside the reaction, never affect the reaction. Most of them have reversible effect. The enzyme catalyzes the decomposition into simpler one and can recombine them to give the same complex molecule. They also are affected by the pH value and the temperature, and some of them are secreted in active state. So the enzyme is specific, never interfere in the reaction, may have reversible effect, sometimes secreted inactive, and depend on the temperature and pH of the medium. Now we are going to see the digestive system in man, how digestion in man, how this happens. Here the structure of the digestive system. The digestive system is consisting of digestive or alimentary canal, the canal where the food pass through it, which is the mouth, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, rectum, and end with the anus opening, and some accessory or associated glands, which is salivary glands, liver, and pancreas. These are parts associated, help in the digestion process. So we have here the digestive and the What are the steps of digestion? First step is buccal digestion, second one gastric digestion, and third one is intestinal digestion. For sure, we are not going to take all of them today. We are going to take part of them. First is buccal digestion. Buccal digestion happens inside the mouth. The first part of the digestive system, this is the first organ. The mouth is formed of teeth, which is differentiated into incisors, canines, premolars. The incisors are in front of the jaw cutting food. Canines are the incisors to tear food, and the premolars at the back for crushing and grinding food. As we see it here, we have here incisors, canines, premolars, and molars. This is for crushing and grinding. Then we have the tongue, the organ to manipulate and to mix the food and serve the taste. It also have the taste, or it is the taste buds for tasting. Then we have the salivary gland. They are 3 pairs of glands and open in the mouth cavity through ducts, and they secrete saliva. Saliva mainly is formed of mucus and amylase enzyme or ptyalin enzyme, which is ptyalin enzyme or amylase enzyme is a weak enzyme, work as pH 7.4 and catalyze the hydrolysis of starch to disaccharides into maltose. So ptyalin enzyme or amylase take the starch with water and change it into disaccharide, which is maltose sugar. So this is the first step for digestion, happen inside the mouth. Starch and water with the amylase enzyme in the pH 7.4, it will be very weak alkaline one, it change to maltose sugar. Then we go to the common cavity between the mouth, which led to 2 tubes, esophagus in the digestive system and trachea in the respiratory system, which is called pharynx. And inside the pharynx, swallowing process happen. What is a swallowing process? If we look here at this photo, we eat and it's organized reflex action, which pushes food from mouth to esophagus, where during it the top of trachea and larynx elevated over by causing epiglottis to close over the glottis entrance of the air passage. So here the epiglottis close the entrance when the food come, close the entrance of the larynx and trachea. So the food is moving like this. It moves up, closing the food, and food move here like this. The food coming, so the epiglottis closes the trachea. By this action it closes the trachea, so the food moves in the other part اللي هو مين الاسophagus, and this is a swallowing. The esophagus. What is the esophagus? Esophagus is a long tube about 25 centimeter long, extend from the pharynx downward the neck into the chest cavity, parallel to the vertebral column, and it is lined with glands which secrete mucus. From inside it contains some glands pouring mucus and carry the food through the tube by what is called peristalsis movement. What is peristalsis movement? It is a series of rhythmical muscular contraction and relaxation of the circular muscles which sweep the food through the canal for churning the food and mixing it with digestive juices. If we see here, the food is a contraction and relaxation, pushing the food down, so it is mixed with the digestive juice, and also it moves them from the esophagus till it reaches the stomach. This is called peristalsis movement. Now we are going to talk about the second type of digestion, which is a gastric digestion. Gastric happen inside the stomach. So let's first see what is the structure of the stomach. The stomach is a dilated muscular sac. It is a muscular sac found in the abdominal cavity. Start from the esophagus by a constriction or circular muscle called the cardiac sphincter, and end at the small intestine separated by muscular valve, which is circular smooth muscle called pyloric sphincter. And the stomach secretes something called gastric juice, colorless acid liquid. The gastric juice is formed mainly of 90% water and hydrochloric acid. These acids create acidic medium from 1.5 to 2.5 pH to stop the action of ptyalin and kills harmful bacteria which enter with food. And also the gastric juice contains pepsin enzyme. Pepsin enzyme is not secreted as pepsin, it's secreted as pepsinogen enzyme, which is inactive. And it activates by the action of hydrochloric acid. So, inside the stomach, we have the digestion of protein. Protein is digested inside the stomach by the effect of a pepsin. What happened? Inside how the gastric juice is found here, what happened? Pepsinogen become active and then it change protein to polypeptides. Inside the stomach, the proteins are changed by the effect of pepsin to polypeptides. Type. Why the stomach? The food substance, not protein is the only food substance affected by the gastric juice. Why the stomach, which is made up of protein, does not affect by the gastric juice? For two reasons. The presence of mucus secretion, which protecting the cells of the digestive enzyme against the digestive enzyme. So the cell of stomach is covered by this layer of mucus, and the presence of pepsinogen inactive. It is only active when it is mixed with a hydrochloric acid inside the cavity of the stomach. So it is secreted inactive, so it cannot digest the stomach cells, or the stomach cells are covered also with mucus, so it is not affected by. So here, starting from the mouth, we have the first part which is digested is the starch, which is changed to maltose. Then the food goes to the esophagus by peristalsis movement, moves to the stomach, where inside the stomach the proteins change to polypeptide by the effect of pepsin. We are going to continue our journey through intestinal digestion in the next video, inshallah.